Lilith, you untie me right now! Hello there. As you can see, things have gotten a little bit, shall we say, out of hand. I would ask you not to engage with her, or else you'll end up like me. Oh, you insipid little child's thing. No one wants to play with you. Why can't you understand that? Listen, for your own safety, just go on in. I will deal with this menace soon enough. Grimly, attack!
Hello.
Hey, besties.
Hey, what's up? I was like, hello there. Hello, Clary.
I know, I always ruin whatever you're trying to do with
You
the
don't ruin
introduction.
anything. You hush. Stuff like that.
That's my job.
Yeah, that's his. Wait, what? Yeah, it is his job. Oh my goodness gracious, it's yet another episode of Little Podcast of Horrors, and as always, I am Chris.
I'm James.
Say-
Christina.
There we go. Yeah. Before we start, what's everybody drinking? If anybody's drinking anything, I'm not. I'm on my.
Drinking. I mean, I'm drinking a Thunder Crunch again because it's
Ooh.
become a new favorite.
Yum.
Hmm.
I'm drinking water
I'm still on
and
my.
tea.
I'm drinking coffee. Been drinking coffee all morning, which is also why I'm super wired. I'm probably gonna have a stroke later. God.
I had a bunch of coffee, and then I realized I was like, why am I so anxious? And I was like, oh, because I had like 10 cups of coffee this morning, so I'm drinking tea, chamomile tea.
Well, that's fun.
Well, if you have a coffee induced stroke, make sure you do it before we're done recording because I mean that's
Yeah.
the kind of thing that can make us go viral.
Oh, you want me? You want me to stroke out on the show?
Yeah, we can't have you do it off the air and just completely miss milking it.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't even. It's with friends like this, who needs enemies?
No, Chris, with friends like this, who needs marketing?
Good point. There we go. Aren't those kind of the same things? Okay. Well, I've got the story today, folks.
You do.
And this story is a doozy. And I'm kind of
It is.
It is. And it's all keeping with sort of the spirit of the stories I've been doing. We have talked about what did I talk about? I
He
talked
doesn't
about
remember the stories. He's
I
been
can't
doing.
even remember. I
He's
can't.
assumed it's following a theme.
The haunted dolls,
Yeah.
demonic stuff. But what was the one before that?
The
My brain-
curse.
I mean, no, really, guys.
The
He
curse
Oh, yes.
blacks out.
And
He
the
blacks out
crossroads.
after every one of his episodes.
And
And
the
just
cro-
never remembers it.
I don't at all. And the crossroad packs. So I'm kind of keeping in that spirit of like kind of demonic and kind of, how do I put this? It's sort of like in the holy area, like, talking about things that have religious nature, like demons and packs and demonic stuff. But I'm kind of gonna go the other side now to kind of go
The
towards more.
satanic theme.
No, the other side. I've already kind of been doing the
They
dark.
said religious. So I was like,
Well, I
you
mean,
know.
as in, like, I've been doing like devilly kind of dark. I don't know. You know what? You decide. I'm just maybe this isn't even in the same spirit at all. It's just we're gonna be
Stop
talking
trying
about.
to force it, Chris.
Oh, you're right. I shouldn't. So we're gonna start off talking about the Vatican archives,
Ooh.
but the yes and no. So let's begin, shall we?
So, real quick plug though.
Mother.
Join our Patreon. If you sign up for our Patreon and get us enough funding, we can plan a clandestine break into the Vatican archives. Go over to Italy,
Whoa.
break into the archives, find out what's going on,
No.
and report it back to you.
No.
We just
Nope.
need enough Patreon signups to make this happen.
Now we're on Interpol's radar.
Thanks a lot, man. I have no
If
desire.
Interpol wants to join our Patreon, we won't invade the Vatican archives.
I'd love to go to the Vatican someday because just the historian person in me. But no, if they were like, hey, you want to come into the Vatican archive? Sure.
It would be
Um,
awesome if the three of us did a heist.
I've been
if
to the Vatican.
wait, what? Really?
You have?
Holy
Yep.
crap!
This is the secret life you've been living.
God,
It's not a secret life. You guys just weren't paying attention to me. Um, yeah, when I was like 15, I went on one of those EF tours.
oh wait, never mind. I remember this now.
Yeah, we went to Rome and we got to go to the Vatican. It
Is
was
that
really cool.
was that the same trip where you also went to Greece?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
I remember now. So see, I do pay attention. I pay attention and I remember things. So, well, to start off, for those who do not know what the Vatican is, which at this point I'm like, how do you not know what the Vatican is?
It's the
It's
Pope's house.
well, yeah, no, it's a little bit more than that. It's Vatican City, to be precise. Officially, the Vatican City State, or in Italian, Stato della Città del Vaticano. If I said that
That's
right,
the
I'm
Pope's
sorry.
neighborhood.
Yep, there we go. It is a landlocked sovereign state and city state. It is enclaved within Rome, and the capital, it's also the capital city of Italy and the seat of the Catholic Church. It became independent from the Kingdom of Italy in 1929 with the Lateran Treaty. And if you don't know what that is, go look it up. It is governed by the Holy See. Now, the Holy See, that is the central governing body of the Catholic Church. And it is itself a sovereign entity under international law, which maintains its temporal power, governance, diplomacy, and spiritual independence. Um, Vatican is also used as a metonym for the Pope, the central authority of the Roman Catholic Church, and the Holy See and the Roman Curia. So basically, as James said, it's where the Pope chills. It's
Pope's
his
house.
it's the Pope house. It's the Pope's house. So, and of course, the Pope as the sovereign of Vatican City, he's the sovereign, owns the material held in the archive until his death or resignation. And a Pope is actually only resigned twice in Catholic history. The last one actually being Pope Benedict just several years ago, with ownership passing to his successor. So when the Pope dies, more or less ownership goes to his successor, which would now be Pope Leo, the first American Pope. Which, boy, that was crazy day. Um, Now, the archive itself, it contains state papers, correspondence, account books, and many other documents that the church has accumulated over the centuries. Pope Paul V actually separated the secret archive from the Vatican Library, where scholars had some very limited access, and the archive remained closed altogether to outsiders until the late 19th century when Pope Leo the 13th, we now have, I think, Pope Leo the 14th, but it was Pope Leo the 13th who opened the archive to researchers, more than 1,000 of whom now examine some of its documents each year. Let's see here. So, just to give you a little more of a historical background, in the first century of Christianity, the church had already acquired and began to assemble a sizable collection of records, known alternatively as the Holy Scriptorium. I said that right, or the Charterium. These records normally traveled with the current pope. Because the pope, he goes all around. So they traveled with him. But in later centuries, as the church amassed power, popes would visit heads of state to negotiate treaties or make political appearances around Europe. Popes would also have multiple places of residency. And when they traveled for diplomatic or other purposes, they would take their archives with them back when they could, since they needed it for administrative work. This resulted in some loss of items, because it's kind of like, when you're moving and then like you lose things while you're moving. I guess it's kind of the same thing. Like, dang it, we lost the Holy Grail. Did we leave it in the last
Oops.
place? Oops. Initially, the archival materials of the church were stored at the Lateran Palace, then the official papal residency. If I say this right now, the Archivio Apostolico Vaticano pursues it specific activity aimed at preserving and enhancing the deeds and documents related to the government of the Universal Church. Universal, that's Catholic. That's what Catholic means, basically. It's the Universal Church. It primarily serves the Roman Pontiff, that's the Pope, and the Holy See, and secondly, offers its services to scholars of all faiths from all nations. The present name, Vatican Apostolic Archives, dates back to when this institution was founded on the initiative of Pope Paul V. And from the mid 17th century, however, the title Vatican Secret Archives, sometimes also known as the Vatican Apostolic Secret Archives, was commonly used, stressing the particular nature of this collection of documents, which consists of the concentration in one place of several archives produced by as many curial offices. So that's just to give you a little history of the archives themselves. The documentary heritage housed in its vast storerooms spans about 12 centuries, like the 8th century to the 20th century. And it consists of over 600 archival uh, fawns. Founds? I don't know what that, I never heard that. Anyway, it's all stored on over 85 linear kilometers of shelving, some of which is in the bunker, which is a 2-story underground vault below the Corte della Pigna of the Vatican Museum.
So about that, I was just looking that up. So you kind of you mentioned 85 kilometers. That shouldn't be understated because
Yeah, that's
I just
all.
learned that like 5 minutes ago. Because I was thinking, I've long been thinking, especially since we talked to Dr. Sledge about it in a previous episode, that I always wonders like there's supposedly so many lost books in there, and I had wondered is like what was the librarian just slacking? Like, are they just letting books collect dust and not keeping a record of them? And then I was looking it up. So for those of us in America, 85 kilometers is 53 miles. That's 53 miles of bookshelves.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
There are some areas of the archives that probably have not even really had people in it for decades, maybe even longer. I mean, they're working through it slowly, but like, I mean, cobwebs, some books have deteriorated. Like, yeah, it's a
I mean,
lot.
think about how long a drive it is from where you are right now to whatever location is about 50 miles from you in the next city or whatever.
Yeah.
And then imagine that entire drive is nothing but books
Not well,
That's crazy.
not
or
just
bookshelves.
books, but bookshelf. Well, or other things that have been archived that we're gonna get into.
Well, it said I'm looking at a PBS article. They're saying 53 miles of shelving. So that's not to say like what
Oh
additional
yeah.
space would be of other things. So assuming that's an accurate statement, then yeah, like between you and the other end of your 53-mile drive, just a never-ending row of books until your destination. That's insane to think about.
Yeah.
And
I
then
just
this is saying that most of that, like not only is it 53 miles, but most of it is underground in a 2-story fireproof reinforced concrete bunker. That is bonkers.
yeah. I just try to imagine somebody who just decides, like, I'm gonna go to the very back and finally makes it back there and then has a fatal heart attack and dies.
How do
Oh,
you,
Like, how long do you think it might be before you're even found back there? Like,
yeah.
you could still be back there even
Do they have,
now.
I mean, do they have electricity across all those 53 miles? Do they
Yeah,
have a little, my gosh, because I mean, this is just kind of blowing my mind. Like, you'd have to have a little car down there
I
and
know. You
make a
probably
like
would.
30, 45 minute drive to get to the back of the library.
Yeah. I don't know. But um so after Pope Leo, actually Pope Leo the 13th, he actually opened the doors of the of the archives to scholars back in 1881, it has become one of the most famous history research centers in the world. In accordance with a practice established in 1924, the Pope will grant free access to the documents grouped into pontificates currently running up to the end of the papacy of Pope Pius XII, October 1958.
So, I have to take back what I said. Like, sorry, Patreon folks. Even if you pay us enough, I can just imagine, like, if we broke into the Vatican archives the minute we, like, descended in, like, what now?
Yeah. Well,
That's
in
okay.
fact,
I'm looking at their job opportunities at the
yeah, there you go.
Vatican.
And I say, James, you kind of jumped ahead because I was going to bring up that yes, it is 53 miles of shelving, 35,000 volumes of catalog, 12 centuries worth of documents. So,
We're gonna need bigger duffel bags.
yeah, pretty much. The archives indexes are not public and are only accessible to scholars once they are 75 years old. Not the scholars, but the archives, I guess, are. And they are housed in a fortress-like part of the Vatican. And like you have to, and I saw the document too, that you have to fill out the application to even try to get access. You have to, I believe, you have to also be trying to prove that it's towards your some specific research, and I think you also have to have a master's in that specific area. So, I mean, there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through to even try to get to go down in there. So, but we're going to be discussing, well, so the thing is, though, this is a little podcast of horrors. And so we're going to be talking about the conspiracies that revolve around the Vatican archives. And more specifically, we're going to only be talking about one today. And we will be discussing others, as I think this is going to become a series now that I'm going to be doing. Because kids, like James, I fell down the rabbit hole. And Christina, I fell down a rabbit hole of this one conspiracy. So the first conspiracy that we're going to be talking about, so is the belief that the Vatican holds documents that prove the Priory of Sion is real. So we're actually
The,
going to be
the who of what now?
that the Priory of Sion. So that is the belief that Jesus Christ married Mary Magdalene, and today
Oh,
their descendants are living in France.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So the
so there's like superpowered Jesus babies running around.
possibly. So, and I believe that this is going to, and here's the thing, we're going to be talking just about this one conspiracy over at least 2 episodes, maybe more, before I even get to the other conspiracies. So buckle up, because we're going to go on a ride. So,
Superpowered Jesus babies.
pretty much. So, this first theory, we will be traveling to the small village in France, Rennes-le-Château. And Christina, if I screw up with anything French, I apologize. So you have the three of us. Christina actually lived in France for a while and studied French, and she speaks French. So
It's quite shite now. I'd
it's
have to see it written.
you still know way more than me and James do. So so we will be talking about Berger Saunier, a priest who was sent to the local village to take charge of the crumbling church there in Rennes-le-Château. So for several years, he lived in near poverty while he fulfilled his charge. His accounts actually show that over 16 months, his expenses were around 90 francs, while his salary was only 25 francs a year. His house was nothing more than a crumbling shack. The church itself was more or less falling apart. So Saunier finally begged the local mayor for funds to conduct repairs. Now, another article actually said that he actually asked a wealthy countess who gave him the funds, but most articles that I came across just talk about the mayor. The mayor agreed, and Saunier went to work on repairing the church. It was during this that he made a discovery. In a pillar, it is said he discovered documents specifically the Gospels of Luke, Matthew, and Mark on one side, and on the other was the story of Jesus visiting Lazarus in Bithynia, and this was from the book of John, and this was all written in Latin. And I will be showing all these images on our socials. The first image, this is Sonia, who took over.
Handsome feller.
Yeah. Now here is the first side, the one side of the document that we're going to kind of be talking about. This is like I said, I'll be showing this on the socials. This is the document here. The
And
one
that's
side of it.
Latin?
Apparently, yeah, it's Latin. Now at first glance, you'd think that that's all that is. It's just the gospel written in Latin. However, the document seems to contain interpolated letters. And of course, the term interrelated letters basically means that words, passages, or phrases that are inserted into existing text, um, more or less a cipher.
How can they tell that?
We'll get to that. Um, but the thing is, he could not. So, if you look at it, there's certain dots, certain words that kind of are apparently, for whatever reason, he was able to discern that there was some type of cipher supposedly within this document, but he couldn't decode it. So he ended up taking it to an expert in Paris. And of course, he got to spend a week in Paris while the expert deciphered the document. Now, as soon as this guy apparently deciphered it, the expert revealed the secret message to Sonia. And as soon as that, and here's the weird thing, after he had gotten or he'd received the decoded message, Sonia went to the Louvre, which is the famous museum in Paris. You know, you can go there today. This is where like like if you ever want to see the Mona Lisa, that's where that is by Da Vinci. But he went to the Louvre and bought a painting. Like, what? That right off
Oh,
there. Like, I'm like, you can do that? You could do that back then? Like, you can go to the Louvre and just
well, and
buy
how much
paint?
did he have to pay?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, remember, this guy was living in poverty.
Yeah.
And it's like, as soon as he learned what was in the document, he just went off and bought a painting at the Louvre. Like, that's immediately very, very strange. Like, you know, like what's in this message that suddenly he decides, oh, I can easily now go and just buy a priceless painting. And of course,
Can I ask real quick?
yeah, sure.
In the document, there's that like at the bottom right before the last bit of text down there that like it almost looks like a compass, like when
Ye-
you're doing the cardinal directions. Is that
ye-
what that's supposed to represent, or is it something else?
Oh, we're going to get to that.
Okay.
Yeah, don't jump ahead now. Don't, yeah, we're going to get to that, promise. So, kids, this is going to get crazy. Okay. I mean, just buckle up. I'm not kidding. This is probably one of the most bonkers episode I've ever worked on. So what did he buy? He bought this. This is Nicolas Poussin's Et in Arcadio Ego. It was painted in 1637. It depicts a pastoral scene with idolized shepherds from classical antiquity and a woman, possibly a shepherdess, gathered around an austere tomb that includes the Latin inscription Et in Arcadia Ego, which translates to even in Arcadia, there I am. This was actually the second painting of the subject. The first one was actually painted in 1627. This is the first painting that I'm showing them.
That
Yeah.
other one, can we analyze that for a second? The first one you put. So
Oh,
the
yeah.
shepherd, the lady that you said is a shepherd, possibly a shepherdess.
She's here on the right in the yellowish gold garb.
Yeah, she looks like rich
Yeah.
and kind of angelic, like she's, or at least wealthy because she's super, super pale.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it doesn't seem like a shepherdess.
That's a
I just
good
want to
point.
point that
Yeah.
out.
Okay. Yeah. I see what you mean. So, yeah, she definitely seems a little bit more bougie than
Bougie.
the other three.
Hmm.
So, oh, and don't worry, we're going to be examining this painting. Yeah. So, oh yeah, we're gonna. So this is a Baroque style. That's just a type of painting too, because Poussin was a Baroque painter.
Can we please go on a National Treasure style adventure?
I think we're about to.
I'm so
Um,
excited.
yeah. He and his painting then returned to the little village where he bought land and built a house and built this dramatic tower and a garden.
He's
And
poor.
but he's well, he was. Here's the tower. That's just a little tower where he actually had his own little
Holy crap.
archival library. Yeah.
That's
Sometimes
gorgeous.
you just need a little tower.
I guess. He then completely renovated the church. Now, here's the thing. Surviving receipts and existing account books show that the overall cost for these renovations of the church was 11,605 francs, and this was over a 10-year period. Now, if you take into account for inflation, which this was the late 19th century, this would be equal to 30 million francs today, or 4.5 million euros, or 5.2 million US dollars.
Hey.
So this dude went from making 25 francs a year, which I think equaled somewhere around 600 or 700 US dollars, to suddenly being able to drop millions to fix this whole place. Where did that wealth come from? Like,
Yeah.
just like all of a sudden he's just rich as hell. So where do you think this wealth came from?
Have they invented pyramid schemes yet?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
Wait, what?
No.
I was like, wait a minute.
No. But so we're going to dive into the full conspiracy. So, you ready for this? So, something else he did besides all these renovations is he scrubbed some of the headstones in the churchyard, like, and moved some around. That's weird.
Can you read them? Like scrub them to clean them or like
No, I
try
mean, as
to
in
get the
there's,
markings
as in
off?
wipe them clean, like as in like they're bare now. There's nothing there.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Buried treasure.
Okay. Here is one in particular that we're going to discuss. It's an archway, right?
It's a closed-in archway out in the middle of nothing.
Well, that's on the edge of the graveyard, yes.
Or is that a
Supposedly,
door?
no, it's an archway. So some of these headstones revealed secrets that apparently Saunier wanted to keep secret. One in particular, to be precise, was the grave of Marie de Negre de Albles, Countess of Blanchefort, which is what I'm showing you now. This is the archway. But if you notice, it's bare. That's one part of it. The other, at the base of it, the grave itself, or rather, I guess the headstone, it's just a flat, smooth stone now.
That's a blank headstone.
That's a blank headstone. Gosh,
Who's in there?
such a shame.
We should find out and then go out there with a Sharpie marker.
That'd be kind of cool. So, luckily, a collector of tomb inscriptions had already drawn out what had actually been on the stone. So
Wait,
take
wait,
that.
wait, wait,
Yeah.
wait. A
It's-
collector of tomb inscriptions.
Mm-hmm.
So some people collect stamps. This guy collects tomb inscriptions.
Yeah. And luckily for us, he did that, or they did that, because that means Sonia failed to hide the secrets. So this was one part.
Ah. Hell Hydra.
I know, right? You see, yeah, actually that's a spider.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was an octopus too, and I was like, oh no, it's just a, it's a
So when you see
spider.
the images, people, it I swear it just looks like there's a Hydra emblem on there.
Yeah.
Not to be a pervert, but it looks like it says pre-cum.
It does.
Yeah, it does. I thought
It's
that
funny,
too.
Hydra.
I thought that too. So yeah, we're both
We're all perverts.
we're all perverts.
It's perverted with an octopus. This is quickly turned into anime.
Okay, so what does this mean?
We'll get to that.
Means it was a horny octopus.
So
Yeah.
this is the other part that was part of the grave itself.
Okay,
So we're gonna look at this now, this first
Oh.
image.
that's a lot. Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, we're gonna have this all up here. So I want you to notice the first thing in this picture, if you look at it, the M from Marie is separated.
Mm-hmm.
And then down there at the bottom, you see Requies Canton. They're separated. That's supposed to be one word. it's split into two. Why? What does that mean?
Hmm.
Why would they split that? Well, this is only one part of the puzzle. Let's look at more, shall we? Going over clues and documents.
Oh, 67 ans. They also separated the 60,
Yeah. So,
67 years old, by the way.
So Christina,
Hmm.
you were asking about that. So, in that first
Yeah.
document, in the documents that had the gospel passages, down in the right corner, listeners, if you look at the document, you will notice these almost looks like a compass, right? It looks like because at the top of it there's north, and at the bottom it almost kind of looks like an arrowhead.
Hmm.
But it doesn't seem to add up, and the arrowhead itself, like that doesn't make sense until you flip it and you realize it's not an arrowhead, it's an A. And if you notice, on each side it spells out Sion or Sion, which, Christina, what's that French for, Sion?
I don't know. Sion? Let me look.
It was a car company in the early 2000s spun off Toyota.
Yep, there you go.
So little did we know.
Well, I know
It had
it's
been
a French
prophecy
thing.
centuries prior.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, so it does mean Zion, which I assume you already knew,
Mm-hmm.
Christopher. But that's why I don't know that word. It's a Christian thing. Is an supposed to be on, like as in year?
Possibly. Most of the research didn't seem to focus on that. It was talking more about the upside down
Hmm.
um, and the A, and that kind of goes into more of it. So this is the other side of the document. So the first part, these are both Bible passages, and on one side of the document you had, the Sion and the A, and it kind of looks like a compass. On the other side, we have this. So there's a lot to take from this right off the bat. And I'm not even going to be able to get to that little whatever that is in the top left-hand corner in this episode today. We will get to that some in the next episode. But for right now, I want you to kind of look at this document that we have up here. Now, there's a couple of things that I'm going to show y'all that kind of are interesting. If you notice, Sion is down there. When you take out the other words, there it is. Again, Sion. It pops up twice.
Scion really did make some pretty cool cars, in my opinion, and I'm really sad they went out of business.
I don't even remember him. So, was there really a car company named Sion?
Yes, it was very brief. It was a spin-off of Toyota. They had like the Scion TC, the Scion. You remember those like very square-looking SUVs called the Cube?
Oh, yeah.
They literally looked like boxes on wheels. That was Scion.
Oh, you're right. Now I do remember. Okay. Wow. Okay. So we have Sion right here. Going back to the document itself, there's something else that's kind of interesting that kind of a lot of scholars pointed out. There is this raised A that stands out, and it's just kind of off by itself, but it's raised up. Now, if you go and you look inside the document itself and you use what's called lining to see if there are any other letters raised in the same manner, you discover there is.
And if I could read Latin, that would mean something.
Luckily, there are other people who can read Latin,
Yay!
and so they were able to put it all together. Yes, so when you put it all together, if you look at it, it spells out "E Dagobert second royer et e Sion est se tresor et."
Il est l'amour.
Thank you.
I'm here for Chris trying to read Latin
I
without any
know.
Latin experience.
More or less, it translates to "this treasure belongs to Dagobert the second, king, and to Sion." And the last phrase, it either means dead or it means he is there, dead.
Dagobert the Second?
Well, so
That's like a freaking D&D character name right there.
oh, it gets even crazier than that. Hold on.
I think it is he is there, dead.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be la mort, I think.
This is Christina, a resident Latin linguist scholar.
And it also looks like the A in LA has an accent over it, which would be there, like you're saying.
Okay, perfect. So, James, to answer, or rather, who was Dagobert? It gets
A
even
level
cooler.
15 mage?
He was a Merovingian king of the Franks.
Oh.
He was actually the king of the Franks from 675 until he was assassinated in 679, and some accounts say his infant son was killed as well. Sigbert. Or was he? Sigbert, that is.
Oh.
Yeah. Legend says that Sigbert was actually rescued by his sister and smuggled to the domain of his mother, the otherwise unknown Visigoth princess Giselle de Rosset Iridia. Sounds like Visigoth. It's like now Saunier had actually located a stone that seemingly depicts this rescue. Here is the stone itself, and when we look closer, on the right, it shows what looks to be the knight carrying a baby off on horse.
He's just holding him right at the head of the horse.
I know. He found it apparently by digging under the altar of the church after he returned from Paris. Interesting. So he comes back from Paris after learning this secret that was on the document, and he buys this painting. So where am I going with all this? Well, I'm glad you asked. So let's continue down the rabbit hole, shall we? Those renovations, well, they weren't all holy and lovely and your typical changes. Now, if you come to the church doors, there is an inscription above it, which is the Latin phrase, Terribili est loco este, if I said that right. And if I didn't, anybody who actually speaks Latin that's listening to this show, first off, wow. Second, sorry. More or less, that translates to, this place is terrible.
What?
I'm not kidding. Above the church doors in Latin, it says, this place is terrible. Oh, but it gets more fun.
Love the honesty.
Yeah, but it gets more fun because as soon as you walk in, first thing you see right near the door is this lovely thing.
Why? Why are those eyes like that?
Yeah. When you walk in, you're greeted by the statue of Asmodeus holding up the holy water stoup. Now,
Asmodeus?
Asmodeus, sorry. Asmodeus.
Is he a demon?
He's not just a demon, he's king of the demons and the guardian of Solomon's temple. Interesting.
I'd be
Anybody
pissed if I were Asmodeus with these googly eyes. Sorry,
I know,
Chris.
right? No, I know, I would be too. Now, real quick, just Solomon's temple. The legend states a lot of things, including that Solomon's temple holds a lot of great treasures, including, but not limited to, the Ark of the Covenant. Call back to one of James's episodes.
Yeah, and actually, Dr. Sledge, who we had on a couple of seasons ago, right? He has a YouTube channel called Esoterica, and he actually he's done a lot of content on the Book of Solomon and a lot of the extra biblical, more controversial text on Solomon out there. So all that to say, there's a lot of demonology and stuff and occult magic and whatnot associated with King Solomon. So this is just kind of sounds like a page from that.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna have to watch that. Okay. Now to the next part. So inside the church, people believe there are more clues that many believe allude to the location of a treasure that would explain Saunier's newfound wealth. Specifically, there's the Stations of the Cross, but specifically Station 6 of the Cross, which is known as Veronica Wipes the Face of Jesus. Now, people examining the picture, this is where it gets kind of interesting. And here is...
Wait, who is Veronica?
What did you ask, James?
Oh, answering my own question. You said it was Veronica Wipes the Face of Jesus, since asking who is Veronica.
Saint Veronica.
Saint Veronica. Okay,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah, Saint
from
Veronica.
apocryphal text. She was a widow from Jerusalem, first century. Okay, so we're doing it. So she's an apocryphal. I can't say that word. She was a character from the apocrypha. She was a character from those books not in the Bible.
So here is that station in question. And I want you guys to take a look at this. This is Station 6, located in the church that Saunier fixed up. And supposedly this, people believe, actually has a secret message to it. So the first thing I want you to notice in the back left, it's actually, you look closer, you have to kind of zoom in, but it's a soldier holding up a shield.
Would that be the character on the right?
Left. He's up in the top left corner holding up the
Oh, I
shield.
see him now. It's a round shield.
Yeah.
But wouldn't there be Roman soldiers that were
Yeah. No,
escorting the cross carriers?
what?
I mean, wouldn't that be a normal thing to see? Because there were going to be
Yeah,
Roman soldiers escorting, the cross carriers on their way to their deaths.
yes. Him being there is not what's weird.
Oh, okay.
So if I'm reading this correctly, so we have the soldier holding up the shield. And the next thing is he's covering up half of a tower or half tower. And it's kind of hard to see in this image because it's really just pixelated. So I'm sorry about that. It's in the shield on high or high shield, right? You also have he's covering up half the tower or half tower. And then you have Simon of Cierne and you have Veronica with the cloth. Now, people taking that and deciphering clues in French, right? When you take high shield and you put it in French, it translates to, how would you say that?
Au bouclier. Au
Au
bouclier.
bouclier. So it kind of high shield translates to au bouclier. Half tower in French translates to demi-tour. And demi-tour also means a half term, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. That's right. And then, of course, we have the next part of it. Simon of Cyrene translates in French as Simon. I don't know how to say that, Christina.
Regard.
Regard. So Simon, or it's, and
Simon.
then Simon Regard. Okay.
So Simon sees something.
Yeah. And then the last is Veronica with the cloth, which in French becomes Veronica Olin.
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 What's
Yeah,
the second part?
Yeah, basically it translates to Veronica with the cloth, is what they said in French. That's how it would become.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, when you put it all together, it becomes this.
All right, hold on.
Oh, it makes so much sense now.
Hold on. So the pictures that you sent of the text, there's 2 lines on the first one, right? Au bouclier. And then there's au bouclier, which sounds exactly the same.
Right. That's the point. So what they were trying to say was like haute bouclier sounds like au bouclier. So the first part is actually how it's translated. The second part is how it sounds in French.
Okay. They just mean different things.
Yeah. They mean different things,
word
but
play.
But basically it's a play on words. What they're trying to get at is that Saulnier was playing with words to give a message. So at the bottom,
at the end, I'll go ahead and translate it for us.
I want to hear if you do. I'm just curious, can you?
I don't know if I can do all of this because
you already did.
I know.
You already did part of it.
At the end, demi-tour, so make it like a half turn. Near, high, what is the Ni Cao Lao? That was like the...
Oh, that's actually, I believe, the name. There's a mountain there.
Oh, so then near that mountain, Sim on regarde. How we look or something like that. What was Sim?
So what they said was at the end of the enclosure, make a half turn towards the high nest, the crest one is looking at.
Okay. Oh yeah, Ni is a nest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's all so clear now.
Oh, I know. What does it all mean? Some believe it leads to a great treasure, the treasure that he found and used to live a life of luxury for the rest of his life. But something's missing. See, this all started when that document was supposedly deciphered and he bought the painting by Poussin. So what was the message that he found? Well, I'm glad you asked. In short, the message that was hidden in the first part of the document was that Poussin held the key. Poussin. Who's Poussin again?
Poussin held the key?
Poussin held the key. Remember the painting by Nicolas Poussin that we talked about earlier?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so go up there. Y'all are gonna be working hard for this episode.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I love it.
So records state that Poussin never went to this area. Remember that tomb though that was scrubbed
Yeah.
clean? Let's look at that again first because it's connected to this painting. So you remember this image, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to look at this for a minute because hidden within it, well, there's a little bit more.
And for our listeners, we're going back to pre-cum with the octopus.
El Hydra.
Spider, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so remember listeners, this was the tomb that Saunier scrubbed. So we're going to look at that. Now there is a Latin phrase that is on the grave. First off, the first part of it. On each side of it, there's these two the two of them together are a Latin phrase, but they're written in the Greek alphabet. So when you translate it to Latin, that is what it says. And I'm showing them an image where it is translated.
Okay. I don't know. I still don't know what it means.
It's okay.
Mhm.
So we go back to the painting by Poussin, and they're looking at a tomb, and there's an inscription on that tomb. Do you know what the inscription on that tomb and that painting says? Et in Arcadia ego. I stated it earlier, which there it is again. Et
Oh,
in Arcadia ego, which
okay.
translates to even in Arcadia, there am I. So right now on this woman's painting, or this woman's tombstone, excuse me, this is Marie de Nagry d'Ables. She was the Countess of Blanchefort. Remember that, the Countess of Blanchefort, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first part that's on her grave. I keep losing my place. Now let's look at the other part. Redis rege celis asse. If I said that correctly. Basically, that translates to at royal Redis in the caves of the fortress. Now, Redis is another word for Iridia. You know, that place where baby Sikber was taken. So right there.
Oh.
Interesting. And then not only that, Saunier found that stone underneath the altar, at least that's what he said, that that is believed to depict Sigbetter being saved.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a grave here connected to the legend of Sigbetter and also connected to Poussin's painting. Now we're going to look at Precum. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Good night, everybody.
Precum, it actually translates to before or with.
I mean, yes.
Or sometimes not at all, baby. Now, we're jumping all over here, and I do apologize. Do you guys remember this document? And, when I blotched it out and it said Sion?
Yeah.
See down there in the bottom?
Yeah. What's the PS?
Mm-hmm.
PS, let the dogs out.
Who let the dogs out? Let's look at that a little closer, shall we? So, listeners, if you look at the image, the line itself begins just before the P, swirls around, and comes up in front of the S. And remember, precum, before, and with. So what comes before P? Oh.
Who?
I know. And what comes before S? R. O-R, or. And or is French for?
Gold.
Gold. And then lastly, we have the spider. The French word for spider is?
Araignée.
Exact. God, I love you, Christine, so much. I was like, I cannot wait. I'm doing French words, and I have my friend who speaks French. So, yes. So, O-R Araignée translates to the gold is at Renée at Royal Redes in the caves of the fortress. So the entire tombstone deciphered, that's what it supposedly says.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, let's look at the painting itself. Or rather, let's go back to the painting. Just to make this easier, I'm going to just pull it back up. So here we have the painting, which if you recall, et in Arcadia Ego. So if we look at this painting itself, most people believe this is a fictitious area that is, Poussin just created, I guess, maybe like out of his mind. Except, does that look familiar?
Oh,
I am showing them an actual photograph of what appears to be the same tomb that is depicted in the painting.
and the pink is in the back.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. See, Christina, good look at Christina. She is on it.
Oh, and the tree's bigger.
That's what you're seeing in the background.
Whoa, why does that look like a skull?
Oh, it kind of does, doesn't it? It kind of does. But yeah, you have the rock that's in the background of the painting in the exact same location. Also, the same hills. If you look up,
so I clear as day see a skull in that mountain, and you're telling me that the people who are looking for correlation in every single thing they could possibly find correlation in didn't see the obvious skull in the mountain looking back at them?
Maybe they did. I don't know. I'm just saying it's not that whatever I just don't think it's part of what you're asking for.
That's totally Skull Mountain.
You know what? I believe you. The same hills that are depicted in the painting, are these hills as well, and these are the hills of Rennes-le-Château, the village where Saunier lived and revented the church and built his house and had that tower. Oh,
wow.
But you know what's in between these hills and the rock?
Land?
I mean, yeah. But this, which is also in the painting as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what that is? At first I thought, well, that isn't like a rock mountain or something like that. It's not. Those are actually the ruins of the Chateau of Blanchefort.
Whoa.
Cool.
The grave was of Marie de Nagre de Ables, Countess of Blanchefort.
That's crazy.
So what does this all mean? What does this even have to do with the Priory of Sion? Did Saunier find some treasure? I mean, that's one theory. People have been searching for this treasure ever since this legend was first dropped.
Yeah.
It means there's a giant Skull Mountain, and if you actually go into Skull Mountain, you're totally going to find an ancient wizard.
I mean, you know what? I like that. That's also not a bad theory. You know what? I like it.
I should have been around when they concocted this thing because, I mean, missed opportunity right there.
So here's the other thing. And we're going to go to another theory, though, because I was like, what does this even have to do with the Priory of Sion or any of that? Well, I'm glad you asked that. Remember that painting that shows the tomb, Et in Arque or Arche? Have you ever heard of the Arche Gospel?
The what?
No.
The Arche Gospel. I'm sorry. You might have heard of it in another name. It's the Gospel of Mary.
Oh.
And the other theory is that actually is the tomb of Mary Magdalene.
Oh, Mary.
But we'll get into that next time because that's the end of the episode. Next time, we're going to go into the theory of Mary Magdalene, the belief that she traveled to France carrying the child that she conceived with Jesus Christ, and that the possibility that they lived in France during this time where she had her baby. And we'll be discussing what all this has to do with a Doctor Who writer from the 1970s.
Oh my gosh.
Super mutant Jesus babies.
But if you like this episode, please like, share, tell all your friends about it because it's just going to get crazier.
And sign up for a Patreon so we can afford a heist.
So we can be Indiana Jones adventurers.
Dun, dun, dun,
Call
dun.
dibs on Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, so that's the first part of the Priory of Sion. We hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, bye.